Truth be told, he's always been a hustler on a mission. Mission for greatness. Some people are naturally blessed with the hustler's ambition. Now, this story is one that we're all quite familiar with. This man had talent and a dream. Three things that he always had besides his 45 with intelligence, ambition, and intuition. Hustler is not simply born. The true hustler is created as he adapts to the bullshit this world throws at him.
Hey, what up, everybody? I just want to let you know BGK's Gambino has been dropping bombs. This boy has turned out to be one of the best dogs we ever produced. He is a 150-pound, tri-merle, beautiful, handsome stud. He looks just like his father, MBK's Morpheus. The only difference is he's actually bigger and a lot younger. This boy isn't even 2 years old yet, and he's already a monster. His pedigree, incredible. He has MBK's Morpheus, BGK's Picasso, BGK's The Rock, Stone, XB's Icon, XB's Comet. The list goes on. He was taken to our female, our Lilac Tri, Nala, AK's Nala of BGK, and she has some bossy blood behind her, among other things. He has bossy silverback, etc., etc. This combination is perfect. These puppies turned out amazing. Big, thick, colorful, XXL tri-merles and tri-pups. My goal when I created BGK's Gambino was to supersize the tri and the tri-merle game. I seen a lot of beautiful colored bulls, but they didn't have that XXL size. That's what we bring to the table. Remember, quality matters. Before we get into the live today, I'd like to start off with a public service announcement. You do not make your American Bully or Pitbull puppy tougher by making it attack your shoes or attack your pants leg or anything like that. That is not how you make your dog tough. The first thing you want to do is socialize your dog, get it comfortable with being an alpha and learning its place in the social structure, getting it familiarized with different settings and build confidence. Then you can start on protection training. But even before you do that, you want to do on-leash and off-leash basic obedience training with that dog. Then you can move into the foundation for bite work. Just a heads up. Now let's watch this video I came across on Instagram today, where a gentleman is attempting to make his puppy tough by allowing it to attack his shoe. The only thing you're doing is teaching your dog that your shoes are chew toys. So don't get mad when he tears up all your shoes later on as he grows up. This is what we like to call a teachable moment.
Go. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Good boy. Get it. Get it. Shake it. Shake it. Good boy. Good boy. Mash. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Enough of that foolishness, but the name of that post was actually, what he wrote on that post was actually, your puppy can't protect you if you don't train it. All right, man, we got to do better. But today's video, jumping right into it, is a live. It's me, Bossy Kennels, Bully Larry Kennels, and Jungle Bully Kennels doing an Instagram live. We've been doing those pretty much every Friday. We've missed a couple Fridays, but if you want to catch us, hop on Instagram Fridays, 3 o'clock. You can catch us going live and chopping up the game, talking about the bully world, giving information out. So if you'd like to learn a little bit, tap in, and what you see right here is what we'll be doing. All right, let's go.
I think, in my opinion at least, is getting the people around you, and then you can transition to hiring on people. I went through 4 people before I got to work in our company.
So, I'm good. How y'all
going
doing?
on, bro?
I had to pull over to hop on this live. I was on the road.
Hey, man, you in a convertible right now?
Yeah, it's a little toy, man.
I like
Gotta
that.
have fun. It's sunny. It's LA. It's Cali, man. It's the Rams, man. I got to turn up.
Gotta do it.
Engine roaring.
Man, that's what's up, bro. Nice to meet you first and foremost. We're Jungle Boy
Likewise.
Kennels. I'm Austin. I've tapped in with you on Facebook before, bro. But I know you've
Okay.
been in the game for a long time. I've seen some of your YouTube content, so respect. 100.
Appreciate you, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to
Man,
interrupt the flow. Y'all keep going. I just want to tap in.
100.
Yeah, so they were just asking, like, how do you progress to having employees? And you have to build a team around you. And I think that just takes time. You know what I mean? You partner up with people. And when you partner up with people, that allows you to do a certain role and do it the best at that role. And then someone else to do another role. Like, I'm good at the marketing and I'm good at the photography. And so when I got partners and they were willing to take care of the dogs, and maybe they weren't social media type people, that allowed me, okay, now I just have to focus on taking the best photographs I can take. I have to focus on marketing. I have to focus on customer service, hiring a
Yeah,
team.
you got your role.
And I think that's really, really key. Once you have people that specialize in different roles, that's when you can really take things to the next level, I think.
Man, 100%. I asked that question because obviously for a long-term perspective, I was talking with one of my good mentors yesterday, and he was just like, and this is something that you told me as well, you know, kind of like slow down, right? Instead of treating everything like oh, I got to make a life-changing move today, look at it for a long-term play. So what is it that you're doing on a daily basis to gradually get where you're going? And where should that mark be? You know, like a specific time frame. I mean, do you have like do you remember how long it took to make that transition in your journey?
You know, it's different for everybody. It's all about your circumstances. You know, you have to have a facility. And everybody can't move at the same speed. Some people have the capital to go quicker. People need to, you know, earn everything they have. Like, it's just different. I mean, I was never given, you know, I come from a middle class family, but I was never given. I came to Southern California about 12 years ago with a U-Haul with 8 dogs, and I had $1,000 in my bank account. And I went in to live with somebody.
Come on.
So, I mean, I wasn't given anything that I have now. I definitely earned it all, and it took me
Exactly. Same here. Come from the
10
block.
years, you know, at the end of the day. It took me a while, and I wish at the end of the day the community would have been a little bit more like it is now. You know, like people helping each other, reaching out, coming together. It definitely wasn't like that. You know what I mean? When I was in the dog industry, it was definitely a whole different way.
What do they say when you get it from the mud, you're gonna have a stronger foundation anyway. So you know everything that you go through makes you not.
Come on, if you're built off of L's, bro, you're used to them. Only W's are grateful, you know?
Oh, bro, I mean, the way you bounce back after the page, you feel me? Like, I hit you up, I was like, sorry about that. He's like, we got to keep going. I was like, I love that energy, man.
Come on, bro.
I love that
She always
energy.
been like that, though. She always been like that. She always been like that.
100%.
One thing about when you get it out the mud, one thing about getting it out the mud, and I definitely got it out the mud. I watched Kat do it. I've been impressed in watching her progress. She's inspired me in the way that she's done what she did. You know, like she built an empire where people didn't expect it to happen. You know what I mean? Like when I first got in the game, there was no dominant female producers. None. No dominant female breeders. None. Not one. Like there were some that were around, like Buffy was around, but she was not dominant. She was not like, this is one of the people that are leading the industry, right? It was mostly like Saul, Roman, people of that magnitude that were really pushing it forward. And when she came out, she actually upped the level. Like I seen a different level in photography, a different level in marketing, a different level in SEO optimization as far as her positioning on Google. And also the quality of her dogs were very consistent. You knew it, like right now, when you see a bossy dog, I know a bossy dog when I see a bossy dog, right? You know, like it's branded in the way that she produces. And that didn't happen. And when you do it organically, it's one day at a time. You build, you infiltrate different markets. Like social media is one. Then you also want to have a presence on Google. You want to have a presence on YouTube. You want to have a presence at the dog shows. You want to have a presence with breeders as far as your stock being quality, not just going to pet homes, but also other breeders are utilizing your stock to build their foundation so that you appear in the pedigree. That's different levels of marketing that you do one step at a time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can see progress if you do it correctly.
Yeah, one thing that I learned from the beginning, and it was from Kat, is that, you know, obviously you see so many people that come on, and it's like she said, everybody's like it's like wearing a Nike shoe, right? So you got people that'll pretty much, they don't want an American bully, they want a bossy bully, right? My main goal and I have this, we've gotten this semi already, is people want a jungle bully. People want a bully lair bully. People want a big Gemini Kennels bully. You know what I'm saying? To get people to want it to the point where they associate your brand
vision
with the dog more so than the dog with your brand. Like, I mean, if you get what I'm saying, that's huge,
no, okay.
you know? So,
it's satisfying
Kat,
as well.
thank you for setting the bar, as you already know.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Everything's a work in progress. I'm grateful.
100%, bro.
I'm grateful for where I've come. You know how far we've come,
Yes,
but
big man.
I'm nowhere near where I want to be still. So
Nowhere near. You know that already.
we're all just doing the best that we can do. But I remember, I mean, I was at a point, and this was when I had moved to SoCal. I lived in Nuevo with 12 dogs. I took care of them all myself. You know, I have whelp litters. I did everything myself, and I had gotten out of a relationship, and I was living up there by myself with all these dogs. And I remember moving out when I first moved my dogs to Brett's, which is our big facility now, and I asked him to help me. I moved, and I got a roommate. I lived in a house with 3 other people, and I rented a room for $400 with my one dog. And I sat there now, and the dogs were with Brett. And I sat there now, and I was like, okay, it's time, Kat. And I just sat there, and I started typing, you know, researching search engine optimization, doing all that stuff. And I was renting a room for $500 in Canyon Lake. That's where I was living. And I mean, that was my story. But
Yes,
there was nothing special that I had other than what was inside of me. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
The will, the want, the desire, the action. It all comes from like what you decide to make of it at the end of the day. Because there's no reason why.
It's what builds you as a character.
Exactly. There's nobody that handed me what I have today. You know?
Nothing.
All the lot of little pieces of work that got here. You know, at the end.
Yeah.
If I ever have a moment where I want to quit, I've had several moments where I want to quit. If you've ever experienced a dog fight, which I think probably maybe everybody on here has, or at least 3 or 4, if you've been in the midst of a dog fight with your dogs that you love and care about, that can be really traumatizing. If you've ever experienced parvo with I've lost, you know, when I lived in Nuevo, I had a litter that had parvo. I love animals to death, so I'm not just a breeder that likes money. I love money, but I love the dogs more than I love money. When I lost dogs to parvo, I definitely animals die. Like it kills me. It kills me. I can't see them after a ear crop. If we talk about ear crops, like that's how big of a baby I am. Like I'm just a baby. Like I love the dogs a lot. So at the end of the day, there's been several times I wanted to quit. What I slow down and I decide what's right for me at that time. And you make your own decisions based on what's going on for yourself and go from there. But it's definitely hasn't. I think everybody feels well. It's like, oh, they're so lucky. They're so lucky.
Hey, they're saying the sound is cutting out.
It's Dre's big engine.
Yeah, that engine is crazy, man.
It's that engine roaring, dude.
Oh, here, I'll cut the engine if that's the engine. Hold up.
Oh yeah, it was the engine, man, for sure.
Okay, for sure.
Got that big boy in there.
I didn't even think about that. My bad.
It's all good.
Man.
But one thing I will say about the dog fights, a lot of people don't like to talk about this aspect, right? And my dogs have very sound temperaments. They're larger than most dogs, so a dog fight for me is not like, it's not a good thing, bro. The first time I encountered that is when I bought Rock, and I thought I could integrate him with the male that I already had, which his name was Zilla. And that shit went left, right? Like it seemed like they were gonna be okay, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm in a dog fight, and it's me with a 150-pound dog in one hand and a 115-pound dog in the other hand, and they're trying to kill each other, right? That was the first and last time I was prepared. Right, it went real bad, but luckily I was able to separate them with a wider hose and sheer wheel. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a little dude, but still. And now I stay prepared, and I tell a lot of people to be prepared, and I get some kickback for it, but I'm gonna still say it here because I believe in it. I have pepper spray on hand. I have a stun baton on hand. I do not use that on my dogs for correction. I don't use that on my dogs because I want them to listen to me. It's a very worst case scenario. Somebody chewed through a fence line. Somebody broke out of a kennel. Just the unexpected. If you don't prepare for the unexpected, when the unexpected happens, you got a problem, right? I don't get insurance
100%.
on my car, like on this car, because I plan on totaling it. I got it because if I get in a wreck, the shit is gonna be expensive, right? So
Yeah.
with my dogs, it's even more than my vehicle. I love my dogs, bro, way more than I love this vehicle, right? So I'm gonna make
100%.
sure that I can do whatever is best for them, and it's gonna make sure they're healthy long term. If I gotta spray them with
100%.
pepper spray for a 2-second interval that's going to end that fight, then I can rinse them off with a water hose. They're fine. Life goes on. I don't even have to go to the vet because there is no punctures. There is no tears. They didn't bite, lock, and start shaking. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what pits do. If you know, bullies, pits, whatever you want to call them. Once
I
they
was in
bite,
it 2 weeks ago.
shake. And once they shake, that's going to be a jagged tear, right? That's going to be a serious puncture wound. You know, it's way better to have something on hand so you're prepared. But better, like first, your plan A is to have it so that your facility is set up that never happens. That's idealistic, right?
Yeah. 100%.
And idealistically, I'll never get in an accident in this vehicle, right? But it might happen. I don't plan for it to happen, but I have to prepare for it if it does. So
100%.
I highly recommend bear spray is what I use in the worst case scenario. And I have a stun baton in the worst case scenario. And some people say that's abuse. I don't think it is. I mean, what's y'all's take?
It's good to know. I have a different method, but my method goes along with this is the most gangster moment of my life. You guys want to hear the story? It's very short.
Yeah.
Does anyone
Go
know?
for it.
Can I tell the story, Dre?
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, this is probably one of the most highlighted moments where I felt the coolest ever in my entire life. So we were at a dog show 5 years ago. This is 5 years ago. And I was drinking at the time, you know? After this, I didn't drink at any more dog shows, but I was drinking.
Not that you were tipsy. Not that I was tipsy story.
Tipsy is an understatement. I was feeling good. I was drinking the great.
Popping the rosé.
And because I get nervous in the social atmosphere, so I had drank past the nervousness, right? I was Miss Cool, right? So I'm sitting in a chair just like this. We have our tent, and across from us, two huge Hispanic guys, dogs, start a big fight right in front of us, and they're fighting. They're going crazy, right? And these are big guys. These guys must have been probably 280, 290, and they're trying to separate the dogs, and everyone's like, they're trying to grab their dogs and do all this stuff, and the dogs aren't getting separated. So I put my drink down. I got up slowly. I walked over to him, and I told the guy, grab the back legs. And I grabbed the back legs of the other dog. I just grabbed their dog. I don't know why I did this. I was probably buzzing. I grabbed
you had that Scots courage.
The dog stopped fighting within five seconds. As soon as I grabbed the back legs and the other guy grabbed the other back legs, the dog stopped fighting.
Did you lift him or you just grabbed him?
And I said, that's how you break up a dog fight.
I just bopped up.
Hey, Kat, let me tell you a quick story. I had a dog fight, backyard, right by my pool. They're locked on. My cousin grabbed two of the legs of one dog like a wheelbarrow. Imagine, you look at the two legs like a wheelbarrow, right? The other two, they stayed locked for another 3 minutes. They did not give a fuck. That didn't work. You can stick a hot poker up their ass. It ain't going to work.
So the ones that thank gosh, I've only been involved in a few. And it's worked in the few that I've been involved with. But the bear spray sounds like a more definitive solution. So we probably should get some. Our dogs are very separated now. The way our setup is,
mine. Yeah.
We're really blessed. So we don't have that problem as much. But it's something that people that have a lot of dogs in smaller areas or all around each other should be aware of, because it could be dogs that get along their whole life. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Another reason to use a bear spray that I use a bear spray is when I walk my dogs.
Ask me again.
When I go walking my dogs, right? Like one time it happened to me, and this is in one of my story times, I encountered a Kangol where they left the gate open. And I don't know what y'all know about Kangles, but Kangles don't fuck around at all.
No, they
You know what I mean?
Selfish,
they have the strongest bite PSI out of every dog breed out there, period, bar none, right? So I'm walking, and all of a sudden this big-ass Kangol that I've always been worried about comes around the corner. And when he comes around the corner, he's coming for me, and I have my girl Athena with me. And I have pepper spray in my right pocket, and I had a bat in my left hand because I always walk with a bat, just because I know the neighborhood. When he came at me, I flooded his face with that mace, ended that shit immediately. His owner came outside. He was mad because his dog just got maced. But basically, I'm saying, fuck you. Like, you could have.
I've got the bat ready. You said,
right.
I've got the pepper spray.
I don't have my dogs running outside. I don't have my dogs running out. My dogs are contained. I'm licensed. I'm monitored by the state. I don't have that option to let my dogs out the yard. I'll lose my license probably. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck is your dog running outside the gate? So that's one thing I do recommend if people walk their dogs and they don't want to have to shoot somebody's dog or hurt somebody's dog seriously that might run up and attack their dog. And even if your dog can handle that fight, you might be in trouble because you had a big dog or the pit bull or American bully that just fucked up this other dog and now they want to do something to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's something else that I recommend it for. That's another reason I keep it around me. Like another thing I'll say is when I did all my service dogs with videos with Rock, that was in my right pocket. I just never need to use it. But it wasn't for Rock, obviously. It was in case another dog ran up. He's going to get blamed no matter what. I'd rather you blame me for pepper spraying your little mutt that ran up on my dog than my dog gets sent to the pound or something because he attacked a dog that was off leash and attacked him. A lot of small dog owners don't feel the need to put their dogs on a leash. I don't know why. It's like, oh, he's just a little dog. He's cool. But no, you can't have him running up on other dogs. It's not right, you know?
Yeah, typically we won't even enter dog parks if we see that there are other dogs in there. I mean, my dogs are very, 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 very good. But it's more so about you never know what another dog will do. And because we have a breed that has a negative connotation as far as their demeanor and how big they are, you can obviously, get the story flipped on you and you didn't even do anything. So I avoid dog parks at specific times that my dogs won't even be able to go to them. Just parks in general if there's going to be other dogs there. But that's why we get up at like 4 a.m, take our dogs and do whatever just to get it out the way for the day before anybody's even up,
Oh, I can share that little miracle solution with you guys.
Man, BGK, bro. A legend.
Good, bro?
A legend in the building, man.
Nah, man, I'm not a legend. I'm just out here trying to do it like y'all, man, trying to get it together.
Don't humble it down, bro. We know you're one of the dons.
I'm just trying to get it right, man. You know what? I'll tell you this. I feel like I'm glad to have been a part of history in creating the breed and promoting the breed, but I want to see somebody take it further than what I did, somebody take it further than what Kat did. Somebody is going to take it to the next level. Like we took it to different levels than the breeders before us, right? And then the goal is the next generation supersedes what we did, and that makes our breed that much more stronger. I look at it bigger, like it's a bigger picture than me. There's a bigger picture than Kat. We're major contributors, but we hopefully are spawning people that are going to do it on the next level compared to what we did. Like that's what I would like to see, because that's the best for the breed, which will keep us where we want to be as well, which is a part of the breed we love that's spreading and having an impact on American culture and dissuading people from the stereotypes that they adhere to because they heard so many bad things about the breed, Michael Vick and X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if your pit is going to kill my kid or if your American bully is going to attack me randomly, which we know we have good temperament dogs that we raise and socialize properly, but we have to make sure that the general public knows that, mainstream media. My bad, Kat. What were you showing?
No, it's okay. I wanted to at least every week give one tip or trick or hint that we found that have helped us tremendously with whelping, breeding, and the dogs. This stuff, guys. Have you guys heard of this?
Nah.
Yeah, we use that.
Oh, we do?
No, we've used it when we whelped.
Oh yeah.
So
your girl.
Hey, there's always a woman in the background holding it down.
You know
She's like, no, lady, get it right. We use that.
Well, because they probably used it over at our facility when they were whelping. But guys, this heals coccidia, treats and cures coccidia better than Albon. It's sold at horseprerace.com. It's called Toltronirazole. You can start this at a week old on your puppies for preventative. For all the people that have the skinny looking, like the little dogs that look like they're like.
Why don't you write it in and tag and pin it, Kat?
What'd you say?
Try write it in the comments and pin the name so people can see what it's called.
You do it for me, boss. You're more.
Let me try. It's because it's got. You know what it is? It's backwards on our screen.
Yeah, it's TOL.
Yeah.
TRAZURIL.
Right. When I write it, Kat, just tap it and tag it.
And then you got to say it 3 times backwards.
And click your heel twice.
So it's safe for puppies, you guys. It's safe for 1-week-old puppies, and you can treat them like every 2 weeks with this stuff. It's awesome. There you go. Somebody wrote it right here. Toltra. 2 people wrote it. I don't.
They're spamming it. Just try press it and then tag it.
I pinned one comment.
There you go.
So
and what does that help with?
Almost every litter we have gets this stuff. And then we also use Panicure that treats Giardia as well. And then that's our dewormer that we use. So we use this and we use Panicure. Both of them for all of our.
I use Panicure as well. I don't use that. I'm going to check that out. Good tip.
And what's that? Is that for you? Is that to that worm your pups and that cat? Yeah.
So this one is for coccidia. So coccidia is super common. Tons of puppies get it. If you ever see people that have puppies that look like they shouldn't look, like they're like skinnier, we've had puppies that look like that. No hate. It's happened. It happens to everybody. But a lot of times they have coccidia or giardia, and they can get coccidia just from the environment, just from the grass, because it's passed on when there's large amounts of animals present. So, and then they can pass it on to their puppies. And it's a lot more common too when the puppies don't have as strong of an immune system. Maybe the mom didn't get milk, so their immune system is weaker, and then they get, coccidia and giardia. You can get this at horse pre-race.
And let's be real though, that won't help you if you got shitty genetics. If you got weak ass genetics and your puppies look like puppy pound pups, that's not gonna help.
Get out of here, man! Get out of here! You know already.
But no, that's a good tip. That's a real good tip. Good game.
My own comment. I'm learning how to use this stuff, you guys. This
Another thing I like to use as a supplement when you can get a hold of it and it's seasonal. So what I like to do is get a hold of it and freeze it. Is goat's milk. Goat's milk is a super great supplement if you can get a hold of it. And I don't mean the powder form.
They can get that in UK quite a bit.
Goat's milk is really good, but it's expensive. That's what we use for our puppies.
What's
like
that? Lamb
$20 a bag on Amazon. Super
Yeah,
expensive.
me and my friend were talking about that yesterday. Literally, it said we were just talking about how expensive it is, and especially for XLs, Aspenlax specifically, it was like $15 per bottle at the specific
It's worth
store.
it though. It's
I'm
worth
already
it.
knowing. Yeah,
And another thing I would use as a supplement that I recommend to a lot of people, and this is actually extra cheap and it's actually good for you too. Like most of the things I feed my pups, I can take myself. It's organically sound for me, and that's diatomaceous food grade earth. Diatomaceous earth food grade. That's DIAOTAMACEOUS.
That helps.
Diatomaceous. Guys, if somebody could type that in, I would appreciate it. But diatomaceous earth, what it does is it's a natural dewormer. It looks like flour. Hey, don't come over here by me. Go on somewhere. Go. Bye. Go.
Move yourself.
Thank you, but no. Diatomaceous earth is a food grade supplement, and what it does is it cleanses their intestinal tract. It purges their intestinal tract. You know what I mean?
Is it this right here?
That's it. That's it. And if you want to go on Amazon and look it up, and look at the reviews, you'll see the various uses that it has. It can be used so many different ways. You can put it on your coat to kill fleas. You can put a couple tablespoons in their food. It'll cleanse their intestinal tract and deworm them. It's a natural dewormer. So I highly recommend that to a lot of people.
Jay, were you talking to strangers right now?
Yeah, they're trying to pull up and ask me about the vehicle, but I'm cool.
Hey, move yourself from the wick, bro.
Hey, if they keep doing that, I'm going to pull off and just hide back on.
That's funny, by the way, at the end of the day. I could never be, that mean, but I guess it's not mean, right? It's just being
I like
real.
my personal space.
Jay no business. Jay no business. He's busy on the line.
I don't think it's mean, Kat. I just like my personal space. I'm funny like that, like.
But I need to take lessons from you. That way next
Get
time.
out my happy space.
I was like, go away.
Hey, look, they're leaving right now. Look, hold up.
Maybe
he pulled the whip over.
That's them right there leaving out.
They pulled up on you.
You know.
Yeah, they pulled up on me, man.
Jay's
like your car, man.
Hey, look, no wonder though, man. You're driving some Batmobile.
Is that a slingshot?
Hey, I'm cool. Just going somewhere. I pulled over for a reason. I wanted space, not for you to pull up on me.
I like it. Come on. I love that.
That's comedy.
Very, very, very funny. Gotten any other questions, you guys, that like out of you four that we're discussing that have gotten certain questions or issues from people?
I think that go ahead. She was just asking basically if we've gotten any questions directly from people that we would probably want to address on this live, to kind of fill people in on something we've heard before. Do you have any?
Do you like using incubators?
Oh, that's a great question.
For the first week, yeah, it's great. Past that, for me, it's hard. Like they need a little larger space to keep them clean, depending on the number of puppies you have.
Yeah, it's good for the oxygen and that, isn't it?
Yeah, the first week it's excellent, and the temperature, being maintained around degrees is super important, especially if you have a low immune system, if mom's not producing milk. Incubators are great, but to me, they're only useful for about a week for our breed, and then also I know they're useful way longer for Frenchies. But and then also if you have a puppy that's struggling, like aspiration pneumonia, stuff like that, it's great for oxygen. So it's the same thing that the vet would do. If it has an oxygen intake, you can actually put the puppy in there and give them oxygen through the incubator. So that's super beneficial.
Somebody said line.
Flaw you stay away from. One flaw we stay away from. What is one flaw I stay away from?
Bad temperament.
That's a hard question. I think like all these dogs almost all have a flaw, so it's hard to really point out one I specifically want to stay away from.
Blue Layer said one that was like
most perfect feed. I try to get it, but I mean, not every dog we have has perfect feed. So I mean, that's a really hard question.
Blue Layer has said it. You had told me this a long time ago, but bad temperament. You know, if you see a dog that doesn't show.
Aggression, it's a no. Yeah,
it's a no. That's one right there.
No.
I think Andre's Andre's trying to get back in.
Okay, Tennessee Mountain Kennels doesn't know the one thing. What is your one thing, Mountain Kennels? You answer the question.
What's the question?
No, Tennessee Mountain Kennels says that they know one thing that they stay away from.
What is it?
No, I want to.
No, what do you stay away from? What floor do you stay away from, Jay?
That's a hard question.
Flaws. I really like to stay away from anything to do with HD. I try to stay clear of HD or ED. You know, I try to breed away from that if that's what they mean by flaws genetically. I'm not sure if they're talking about. That's key.
Yeah.
That's super key.
Better to breed 100.
Man.
Temperament. The Tennessee Mountain Kennels is saying temperament. Temperament is more important to me than health, honestly.
Temperament is everything because that endangers lives. So you're very good point, Kat. That endangers lives, and that's one thing I'm proud of. Is as a kennel, I've never had a dog that has attacked an owner that I've sold dogs to, and I sold them everywhere: Europe, United States, Canada, you name it. And I've never had that happen. However, I have had people that try to break into one of my clients' houses get shredded, but to me, that is the way it's supposed to go. You don't break into people's houses.
Yeah, literally. Hey, Kat, which dog would you say has consistently outproduced itself for, you know, I'm saying, I know Jumanji is doing it consistently, but your fit.
Stack Jumanji against Enzo. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? What's so funny about that is that all I got to do is zoom in and he's going to win.
Don't let me pull him out. He's from your productions anyway.
So at the end of the day, if I stack him next to Enzo, we're gonna look crazy. If I stack him the same camera lens, Jumanji looks like it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's not a fair. It's not two similar dogs. It's fair.
They're two completely different built dogs.
So it's funny. So I know how to do cameras. I know how to present the dogs. I put Jumanji right here next to Enzo. He's gonna look 3 times as wide at the end of the day. But if we put Jumanji and Enzo next to each other, then it's going to look like 2 different breed classes. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going to look like I have an extreme, and he's going to look like he has a 4-time XXXXL, like people like to say. Is it XL or an XXL? Or is it an
XXL? I think they're going as far up to.
They keep saying the XXL. Don't. Hey, let me ask y'all this. This is an interesting question.
Yeah,
a lot of people say the XXL doesn't exist, but this is my thing. My dogs are not traditional XLs because they're over 23 inches, right?
So quality standard.
So what is that then? What do you call that?
I think the Europeans call it XXL.
It's double XL.
I call it XXL. It's double XL. I don't care what nobody says. It exists.
XXL. Let's put another
it exists. They used to say the XL didn't exist. It exists. You know?
Put another X on it.
Yeah.
They're just slapping another X on it and trying to put another dollar sign on the end of it. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's exactly where I would go with that because obviously it's out of the XL class. It has to be something else. You know what I'm saying? So
I think
the next level up would be double XL for sure.
Dogs, they grow longer. Like, you know, Dre, your dogs are bigger built anyway, naturally. But they say that, you know, the XXL blood takes about up to 3 to 3 years old to really see what they're all about. And
Big
you know,
facts.
you're vouch for that yourself. So that's what they're basically, you know, it's, you can't, like Kat said, you can't compare an extreme bully to like a tall bully with the bone and stuff like that, because they're two different builds. You know, like we were saying earlier, your studs are your tools. So they're different tools for the different for different visions and different programs. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
no.
Kat, somebody said, what do you think, indoor or outdoor kennel? I know you have an outdoor setup, but what would you say?
Shout out Unleashed. I appreciate that.
That's so easy. That's so easy to answer. Outdoor. If
For
you
sure.
have the money to do it. How, like, if you're indoor, it's a jail cell. Like, if you go inside, it's a jail cell. You need an indoor facility to house. You need that at the end of the day because of parvo, stuff like that. But if you can't, the dogs need sunshine. They need fresh air. They need that. And if you have a lot of dogs, you know, our dogs they're not. I mean, they're out running outside in yards, playing. They have pools. They have houses. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I mean, you can ask my partners. I'll go to the facility. If we have a dog that's in our inside facility in a kennel, I ask them every single time, how long has this dog been in here and why is it in here? And there'll be a reason, like, oh, it just had a surgery or it needed this or it had this. I'm like, okay, does it come outside? Because I feel like they're in jail, you know?
Hey, you want to know what's weird, Kat? Well, not weird, but you're correct on so many levels. First of all, the sun is actually a vitamin, right? It provides nutrients to the dogs that you don't even realize. Like, if you put your dogs outside and watch them, they'll naturally gravitate to the sun. I watch my dogs. They'll go away from the shade and lay right over in that sun. I know you guys have seen that with your dogs before too, right? Yeah. So, and also to be licensed, and when I wasn't licensed for a long time, I'm licensed now, and I didn't even realize, but to be licensed, your kennel was supposed to be outside before they were licensed. You can't have it just indoors. They need to see an outdoor facility. And then they'll say how many yards is supposed to be away from your fence line, from your neighboring, from the actual house, and blah, blah, blah. So you have to have a decent sized property. But they make you do that because they also understand those dogs need the elements. They need the fresh air. They need the sun. They need to exercise. They need to be able to run around a yard, not just be cooped up in a kennel, especially a big dog, right? Or any bully dog. You don't want them to develop like flat pasterns, or you don't want them to not be able to get cowhock because they didn't get the right amount of exercise, you know? It's vital for these dogs.
Locked in your room. Imagine being locked in your room for 365 days.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's like us. We're just going to get
much love, India. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
That's like in the UK as well. We just have to. I'm going for my breeding license. I'm like 2 bullet points away. I've just got to change one little thing, put some chicken wire on the fence, and then I'm ready. But one of the key things I had to do is obviously I've built a big indoor complex for them and stuff, and they've got the yard. But as the dogs have got older now, the temperaments and stuff, they need their own space. So now I've had to.
Yeah, they do.
In UK, you need 8 meters square for one bully. That's for one bully. And you need it.
Not to sound ignorant, but could you translate that into a length that I would understand out here? Or do you know, Kat, what 1 meter would be comparable to?
What did he say? Say it again.
1 meter. Do you know what the length of 1 meter would be in for us?
Let me look it up. I got Google right in front of me.
Yeah, let Austin look it up. So I don't
hey, thank you, OG Shogun. That's going to be next week for sure. I appreciate you.
I know what
1 meter is equal to 3.2 feet. So if you think about it,
say 3 feet. That's what I.
It's like a yard.
Okay.
It's a little bit over.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Square for 8 meters.
Hey, now I want to say this while I'm on the live. Shout out to the UK for the way y'all have stepped it the fuck up. Like, it's impressive to see what you guys have done in the dog community from where it was to where it's at now. You guys, yo, I can't tell you how many times I see a dog over there. I'm like, I wish I could breathe to that mother. Like, they're hard, bro. Like, y'all have stepped it up. Shout out, man.
We got it from you, and we're trying to better the breed, you know, trying to.
Y'all doing it. It's being done. And the presentation, I'm seeing quality videos, quality pictures, the quality dogs. Like, you guys are leveling up, man. I love that, man. That's so great for the breed.
Come on, we're trying to be like you guys, man. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to push it and be like you guys.
You're doing it. It's not it's trying is in the rear view mirror, man. Y'all doing it, bro.
100%.
A lot better from like 3 years ago. 100%. 100%.
I agree.
Yep. I'm about to figure out shipping semen out this way, man. I'm about to start importing some frozen semen from out there because I like what I see too much. I like to think outside the box. You know what I mean? So
might have to bring Enzo to JBK, bro. You never know.
Hey, you never know.
Boy,
I want to supersize. Hey, you know what my ideal is right now? No cap. I want to supersize Jumanji.
Imagine.
I
That's
love
like
his
Jumanji's
body
test
thing,
on
like
Enzo's
his
body.
rear, his structure. Like I like everything about him. I just want to supersize him, bro. If I could if I can give him like that Mario mushroom, like bloop, 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 you know
Oh, we
what I mean?
already
Like that's what I
hey,
want, bro.
Cat, we already got a couple of those, huh?
Dre, you need to see him in person, because
I do.
at the end of the day, no matter what I take of him, it's probably the same with Enzo and some of these great dogs out here. It doesn't do it justice. When people see him, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like
100%.
holy shit. So it's a dog you have to see in person. I want to too. I mean, we have a couple bigger ones. I've yet to see Jungle Bully's Casanova. He looks phenomenal. I have Congo. Guess what? I'm still taking Jumanji all day fucking long. If you come see that dog, like, woo, like.
That's your boy right there. You back into the
Let's
end.
set it up. I'll pull up.
We will. Maybe we'll bring him. Maybe we'll bring him to my house, or I don't know how he acts. He's never been over here. I don't know, but friendly with him. But you bring your bear mace, and I think we got it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not gonna mace your dog.
No. I'll put blackmail.
You got Dre there with the back of the spray like this.
Cat, we got to play the
Oh
link
man,
up,
how
'cause
bad would that be for the bully community? Like Dre showed up and maced Jumanji. Like what the hell?
Hell no.
I like Jumanji so much that I can't tell you if I like Good Bar or Jumanji better.
That's why I was
Good Bar.
asking you,
I love
produce
Good Bar though.
himself
Good Bar is
enough.
hard.
Good Bar's Enzo's granddad, man. He's the main man.
But I'm telling you, when you see, I mean, you just have to see it in person. It's one of the things I
will one day. I'm gonna come out there.
Joshua.
What I want you to do for me, if I'm able to see Jumanji, is I want you to put your camera on Gambino, because I already know you're a better photographer than me. I would love to see your camera on Gambino, and for you to give me what you think of him in person. He's still developing. He's not even 2 yet though. Like this in his disclosure, he'll be 2 like the month after next month. So he's almost 2, but he's not 2 yet.
Where are you? You're in LA, Dre, right? So you're what, an hour and a half away?
Yep. Yep.
We could always meet at the facility that Jumanji's at.
LA.
Bring them to the stars. Bring Jumanji to the stars.
Let's get it.
Oh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Yeah, he would be fun. He's easy. He's so dog friendly. Jumanji too. He's super dog friendly.
He'd set LA on fire.
So is Gambino. Gambino's the same way. Like he's the same way.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's big to me. That's definitely big to me. The temperament. I mean, it's nice to be able to take them out and be able to socialize them and not have to worry about them. I know we took Good Bar and Wonk on the plane.
Hold up for 1 second. Did you just say go Bengals? Did you see my hat? You saying go Bengals, bro? Come on, man. Bengals is done. It's over.
Over with.
Over with. They out of here.
Are we taking that? Oh yeah, we can't take. Look at this one. We have questions that, like, I didn't know they could do that. So they put questions on here that we can answer.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
I'm rusty with it as well. I can't lie.
3 questions.
You probably can see them. We can't see the same questions you're seeing on TCAT, so you have to read.
Oh, you can't?
No. We see the comments, not the questions.
I see the questions.
Okay.
Oh, do you?
I don't.
Yeah. All you got to do on the bottom right of your screen, there should be like a little circle with a question mark on it. You click that, then the questions will pop up.
Oh, I see that.
No.
So somebody asked if I'll ever have a black male litter. I definitely will, but I'll probably keep the entire litter within our team, and I'll probably keep one of the puppies for myself. Unfortunately, black male is not doing as good as I thought he was doing. So, we're dealing with issues, and one of them, they're thinking it's from the food, from feeding grain-free food. He's developed a heart disease, and a lot of it comes from food. He didn't have it when he was younger. He was just seen at the vet a year ago. He didn't have it. And so that has been difficult. When I was started in the industry, I was told grain-free food was amazing, and it helps with dogs with allergies and stuff. So everyone pray for Black Male. Hopefully he has a lot more years left.
Big prayers going up.
Come on, already.
And we'll definitely.
Grain-feed food is also is 100% great. Like one thing a lot of people don't know, Kat, is dogs' saliva lacks the enzyme that's needed to actually process food that isn't grain-free. right? So you get a lot less nutritional value if it isn't grain free because they can't process it at all. You know,
Yes.
I didn't know
So,
that until
so what he
a
has,
while back.
what he has is cardiomyopathy. I can't say it right, but and then it's caused by designer dog food diets. So unfortunately, he did have allergies when he turned like 6 or 7. So we had him on a dog food, a vegan dog food, an expensive dog food, and unfortunately, you know, I think it caused another problem that they didn't inform me of, and I wasn't keen to. And everybody knows, you know, I'm always trying to.
Yeah, just learning.
But I spent the last, I think the beginning of the week, and you know, sitting here with my dog crying because I didn't know, you know, what was going on, and it's definitely been a learning lesson. But he's here with me now, and stuff. But I just say to share everything with people so that people can learn. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, some of these designer diets are
Not all fireworks.
not good for them long term. At the end of the day, yeah, they put them on a high blood. That's what they did. They changed into that. I had went to a different vet that had suggested, you know, something else. So, you know, the problem is there's a lot of differing information that you get, and then you kind of have to pick what information you think is
Yeah, you get too much.
with that doctor. So, God, yeah, it's been rough because blackmail is like my best friend. So, I was
keep your chin up and keep punching.
Yeah, I've been a mess, but you know, at the end of the day, Blackmail's lived a phenomenal life. And if he ever passes away, I hope it's in 5 more, 10 more years from now. But that
Do you have straws on them?
Yeah, I have 20 straws, but he's gonna have a whole funeral when his day comes. He's gonna have a whole funeral with dogs attending, people coming.
All of that.
I'm gonna really celebrate his life because this dog has been instrumental in my mental health and my life.
Yeah,
it's like a
son,
definitely like a son to me. So we'll see how this journey goes, and if people have similar experiences or want information, I'm definitely willing to share. I'm gonna go to questions now because now there's 17. There was 3.
Yeah, finished.
And
run through the list.
And there's 17 now.
But keep punching, Kat. You're smashing it. Keep punching.
Keep punching. Okay, people were asking about C-sections and versus natural, and this is a very, very hard one. Natural is better for dog guys, but it's a lot riskier to lose puppies. If you have a large litter, it's harder for them to all come out alive. If you have a small litter, it's harder for them to come out at all because of the size of the puppies. So a lot of times in the United States, a lot of people do C-sections. We do a lot of C-sections, but I think it's important to do the C-section with the right vet. They can give you like a pain block for the dog. And then the other issue with C-sections is a lot of times when you C-section, the dogs don't produce milk right away. So that's a big
natural oxytocin, isn't it?
Big problem. But hey, I have another tip and trick. I don't know if you guys know about this. We just started with this, I think a litter or 2 ago. Do you know that you can give your dog malt beer, non-alcoholic malt beer, 3.5 ounces a day to produce milk, and the milk drops?
I use fenugreek. Fenugreek
pills are good, but even malt beer, non-alcoholic malt beer, 4 ounces of that, give it to the dam. And we had used fenugreek, oxytocin, Reglan, Oxymama, and the paste, the Equidome gel. None of it had worked. And we tried. So
oxytocin didn't work for you?
What'd you say?
Yeah, normally
oxytocin didn't work for you.
5 shots of oxytocin didn't work.
Wow.
I've done. Sometimes I do 5 to 8 shots, but it's working me every time. The milk drops.
Let's see. I can't believe the amount of questions on here. You give oxytocin.
Hey, let's stay on this question before we jump to the next question. I want to say a couple things, Kat. One, I go back and forth between. I do both. If any breeder tells you they only do C-sections, and I know a couple breeders like that, and some of them are larger, they're fucking idiots. You do not do only C-sections, right? You got to pick and choose. There's a time for everything.
I've never done
one thing I do know, when you have a first-time mom, there's a chance that she might reject that litter when she comes out from underneath that anesthesia. It doesn't always happen, but that's a possibility. There's some things you can do to mitigate that risk. one of the things you can do, and I highly recommend you do, if you do a C-section, which I do C-section, so I'm not against them. I do them frequently. My last 3 litters were natural births. My last 2 before that were C-sections. So I go both ways when it comes to that. However, one thing you can do when you're doing a C-section, especially with a first-time mother, is ask your vet to retain the placentas, right? Because that's going to stimulate her maternal instinct. When she wakes up, it's not just a couple puppies sitting there that she doesn't know. And what you can do, because if you ever notice, when dogs meet each other, the way they greet each other is they sniff each other's rear, right? They're looking for pheromones. They're looking for that scent that triggers knowledge, that triggers their memory, right? What you do with the mom is you dip their butts in that, you get it in a bowl, and you dip their butts in the placenta like they're chicken nuggets, right? Dip them in, present them to the mom. And what you're going to notice is she's going to lick and chew on that placenta and eat that placenta. And by the way, the placenta has a lot of nutritional value that people don't realize. It's actually loaded with nutritional value for them, right? There's actually some humans that will make shakes out of their placenta, which is gross, but they do it.
On the Housewives, they were like, hey, save your placenta because I need it for my safe shoulders.
Right. I mean, it's gross, but I mean, they're not, like, it's weird, but it's not wrong. Like, it does have a shit ton of nutritional value, right? So, and also it triggers the memory. I definitely recommend that. But I recommend that you actually think about each litter as you do it. Don't just default to a C-section automatically every freaking time, right?
I've even had a natural one do it before, where she's when when she's had her first pup, and then when you show her and you present it to her, she's even looked at me and then started growling at the pup, and she
that's a problem.
And I'm like, are you crazy? And then the next one comes, and then like, oh, I'm giving birth, and then they get used to it, you know.
Right, they get a rhythm and they get a knowledge, and they start learning that that's their litter and that came from me, and I need to protect and nurture this litter, you know. But there's absolutely a great resource in C-sections. Make sure if you're going that route, you schedule everything accordingly. You do X-rays. You stay in touch with your vet. Let them know when it's coming up, because a lot of times they're going to do it when you don't expect, either late at night, early in the morning. They never go at the optimum time for you. They go whenever they're ready to go. So if you keep in touch with your vet, like, I'll pay after hours fees if I need to come in late, or if I need to come in on a Sunday or a holiday, you know. If you can get that relationship.
You got to progesterone if you're doing a C-section, guys.
Right, reverse progesterone.
Under 2.0 ng in order
blood test,
dog. If you're not progesteroning, you're just cutting open the dog, the dogs can be premature. You need to schedule a reverse progesterone test and make sure that they're at least under 2 ngs in order to do that C-section. And
if you have a good vet, they should make you do that progesterone test anyway. That should be something that they do automatically.
Mandatory.
Exactly, 100%.
Reverse pressed up. It's called a reverse, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Somebody's asking about coccidia treatment.
She just gave a bomb coccidia treatment.
Give a bottle. It's spray on there. God, there's so many questions on here. You guys can't see these questions?
We can.
Yeah, we can.
I wanted to ask you. Go ahead, Kat.
On the question button, do you guys have that same question button that I have?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Okay. You guys want to talk about hip dysplasia? So many people want to. Okay, I'm going to answer this one question. Can a dog with hip dysplasia be bred to a dog with perfect hips? Absolutely, yes. Yes, 100% they can. What are your reasons for breeding that dog? Does that dog have perfect breed type? Does that dog also have good elbows? Is that dog something that is the most amazing dog that you really need to breed that dog? Are you prepared to keep multiple dogs to make sure you get a healthy offspring? Are you prepared to make sure that the people that know they're getting dogs, you know, or prepared to replace dogs that aren't healthy? You need to be aware of all of that. But yes, it can be done. It has been done. People do it all the time, I'm sure. Perfect scoring dogs. We have a lot of dogs that are health tested. Have went to dogs that aren't health tested that probably didn't pass. The percentage that will be good in that chart on OFA. If you breed excellent hips to a dog with moderate dysplasia, you'll get 60-70% good hips, which is kind of surprising. So that's kind of why, even if all your dogs aren't perfect, at least testing and knowing what you have, so at least you're not matching up terrible, can be cool. Knowledge is power. You don't have to be vocal about it. You don't have to be loud about it. Just do your diligence that you can.
It's all in the prep. It's all in the prep.
So you can improve.
Try. I would say you actually want to try to breed away from it. If you Like if you have another option, unless this dog is super incredible and has minor HD, because I definitely wouldn't breed severe HD. There's levels to HD. A lot of people don't know that. It's not just HD or not. There's levels to the severity of the HD that the dog is experiencing, right? If you got a pup that's barely able to walk at 1.5 years and you breed it, I mean, that's crazy. But if you have a dog that has superb breed type, flawless elbows, flawless top line, head shape, structure, genetically it is everything you want as far as the pedigree, then I definitely can see you breeding that with that knowledge in mind that it has slight HD to a female that will offset that, right? That has a perfect rear, that has perfect hips,
And
you know?
also talk about the muscle rear. This is what I'm so excited.
That's one thing I love about Jumanji's. His rear is solid, man.
What people don't understand, and if you talk to the orthopedic vet, and people don't understand this a lot, is the thicker the dog's rear is, if the dog has dysplasia, the thick rear, actually the muscle in that rear can hold together the hips, so they're never symptomatic. They can be asymptomatic for 8 to 10 years and be dysplasic, and you never know. Versus if you have a thin rear and not very much rear at all, they're going to be a lot more symptomatic. So I say that to say this, is that it's like, imagine getting a knee injury. They always have you do rehab to build all the muscles in the top of your leg and the bottom of your leg to support that knee. Because the more muscle you have and the more muscle you build, the stronger your knee becomes, because it offsets the amount of work that knee has to do. It's the same for the hips. So if you want to breed responsibly, you want to breed to big rear ends as well as good joints. Because if you do get a dog that perhaps it ends up dysplasic, but it has a Jumanji rear, that dog will probably never show any signs of that dysplasia, as far as my orthopedic vet is concerned. So that's a really, really good reason to try to breed for the thickness in the rear end and those muscles in the rear end.
Agreed. Agreed.
Let's see. When should I start? Let's talk about something else. We already looked at this one.
When should I start health testing my dogs?
You can start as early as 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, you don't got to wait for that.
Yeah, you can start as early as 6 months for health.
You can't do the hips and everything until they're over 1.5 years.
No, you know? we do hips at 6 months.
Do you do them again afterwards?
We do hips at 6 months, and then we do hips if it's questionable. If you do hips at 6 months, it's a 72% chance that stays. If you do them at 9 to 10 months, it's like a 80%. If you do them at a year, it's an 85% chance that stays at 2 years old. I do them at 6 months on a lot of our young studs, because if they're going to be shot, a lot of times we'll see if they're messed up at least. You know what I mean? Like, and then neuter at pet home or whatever, if they're not up to the, a lot of times if they're going to be really bad, you'll see it at 6 months.
Yeah, you will. But the one thing I do know is, even if you look at an x-ray of pups, you will notice their joints are not touching. There's a space between them, right? There's a big gap because they got to have that space to grow, which is why you don't want them running.
At 4 months, but at 6 months it looks different. I got x-rays at 6 months I can show you that we just did.
No, I believe you. I absolutely. I know you know what you're talking about, but for what my vet has told me, I prefer to at least do it again at around 1.5 years, because it's just more definitive. They're closer to their maturation, especially with the larger dogs. You know, maybe that plays a role as well. But they're closer to their maturation, and you can really, like, I won't have to go back. Once I get those, I know for sure whether or not. But I will start at 6 months now. I know that. I didn't know you could start that.
Yeah, I will. I thought to wait for 18.
That 1.5 years results as well.
Because at least I tested some of our own dogs at 6 months that have been messed up. And I've seen it at 6 months. I'd rather know that now. I can get them in.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
They're not up to our standards. So
I was waiting until about 18 months.
Yeah,
but now you said it. It makes sense. Planning ahead.
The other funny thing I see is,
I would say do both.
Is if you're going to advocate to health test at 18 months and 2, don't breed until then, right? How are you're going to do 10 breedings and then health test and then find out that the dog.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You wouldn't breed till then. Absolutely.
At that time.
I mean, yeah, obviously, if you have thought of any issues and you're still doing it, 100%.
Yeah, you got to know beforehand.
Yeah, so you can. I mean, it costs more money to do it multiple times, but if you're wanting to breed, your males at a
Had
year,
you balling, you ain't worried about no money. Quit playing.
I'm not balling. I'm doing all right. I'm not
You're
balling.
balling out there.
I guess it's a matter of
Every
perception.
time I talk to somebody that's balling, that's their response, my guy. Like, that's what they always say. They're like,
That's
nah, you
sweet.
know, we out here trying. We struggling a little bit, but we're able to afford McDonald's. You know,
Yeah, come on.
I'm struggling a little bit too, Cat.
Yeah, he looks like it with that spoiler, bro.
It's hard, bro. It's hard, bro. It's hard
Hey.
out here.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. So we'll keep moving on from there. But and then a lot of people are on the embark.
I can't see the questions, people. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, look on your bottom right hand corner, and you'll see a question.
Someone, you know what it is? Where I'm using my iPad, someone just said to me I need to update the app. So that's
Oh,
why.
okay. Somebody said, "What do you think about Blue Merle Try?"
Okay, so for a long time, people were like going after lilacs and chocolates, and now that the blues are getting more rare, I feel like people are wanting the blues more and more. So we just kept a blue merle try from Hope and Rome. We need blue merles because there's a demand for them. I think blue merles look like some of the coolest, in my opinion. I love the blue merles and I love the chocolate merle. I have 2 lilac merles, so maybe we all love what we don't have. I don't know. We have Rome as a chocolate merle. I think the chocolate and the blue look really, really cool at the end of the day, but it's different opinions. You know, there's a market for everything. Different people like different styles. Like, some people want solid dogs, black dogs, non-tries. I mean, non-merles, just full tries. You know, it just depends.
I like Blue Merles. I like Chocolate Merles. I like Lilac Merles. I like Blue Tries. I like Lilac Tries. It depends on the dog. Each dog has a different presentation to me. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Blues are coming. Gosh, there's a million questions in the question thing.
I'm trying to read them and they're just flying.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Afi told me Axel is 24. So we're almost at Dre's height. How tall is Enzo?
Last time I measured him was about 14 months. He was about 25.5 inches.
Oh, I thought you said 40. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, 20, he was about 25.5 inches, I think. 14 months I've done that.
Are the same height? You know what it is I think that the more girthy a dog looks, the shorter.
You know what? I'm going to measure him, though. I haven't measured him he's 21 months at the end of this month, so I want to measure him up. I'm going to measure him up and get it on video.
Bar was short. Because he's so wide. They're like, he's short, he's small, he's little.
I get it all the time, yeah.
I'm trying to read.
You can't actually, in videos and that, you can't see the actual dog in person. When you see it in person, because it's so big in every way, like the rear, the bone, the head, it don't complement it in the video. When you see them in person, you're like, wow, okay. You can see.
It's a whole different game when you see him in person. It's so
funny. Big facts.
Everybody on here has said at least bad things about all of us. So rude. Huh? They're just on Dre right now. Okay, all about the girth. I wish I could just go through here and just block people. Whenever
this one dude said, Kat, will you marry me? If not, I will always take a position at the Bossy Yard. That's one of one kennel. We got somebody trying to marry you on here, Kat.
She's got blackmail there.
One of one kennels. What we doing? You like? Is it official or what?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, Empire.
I think the key word in that sentence was no. She said, "I don't know," so I heard no.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never met a person, and who knows what life and time takes us. So I guess you never know.
Hey, somebody really shooting a shot on this bitch. That's funny.
How can you increase your chances on getting a breeding done? Guys, educate yourself on timing. I know UK people, you guys have a different scale than we do. A lot of times,
We use animal.
A lot of times the UK clients are hitting me up for help and advice on numbers. I can't help you guys because you guys breed at a 60, I think. And we breed at a
about 40, 50 animal.
Hey, there you go.
I'm gonna tell you guys something that's helped me out. I've done 1 million progesterone tests, 1 million successful AIs, transcervical, surgical, vaginal, every in natural breeding, every form of breeding that exists. I've done it. There's nothing more accurate, and this is going to sound crazy unless you've actually been around. There's nothing more accurate than somebody that actually has a dog that is a really, really good male and a really good stud. I can put my dog in the yard with my bitch, never do one progesterone test, and he will not try to mate with her. Believe it or not, he'll sniff and lick. But I'm saying actually try to tie until she's starting to come in the season. I can immediately remove him from the yard and put whatever dog I want in that yard that's going to tie and tie naturally. And I guarantee you, natural ties beats anything else. Now, of course, if we're doing long distance, if we're dealing with your progesterone test, you're going to have to be ready. You're going to have the semen on deck, have everything structured so that semen can get there when it needs to be there. If you're doing frozen, get it there early so it's just sitting there. You don't have to have it shipped when the dog's actually ready. Get it there in advance. However, if you have the option of doing a natural breeding or natural tie, if you have a good stud, believe me, they will let you know when that female is ready to be bred. Pay attention to them. They're very good indicators. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go get.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of the people here are breeding, with either fresh chilled or frozen. They're using, so they don't have that luxury. And
then
so
you really want to pay attention to that female. One thing a lot of people don't do is catch that first day, right? You really need to catch the first day. If you got a female that you're breeding and she's that important to you, bring her in your damn house. Don't have her out in the kennel. Bring her in your house. I guarantee you're going to notice when she get blood on the floor. I guarantee you're going to notice that, right? Bring her around you. It's good for your bond with your dog anyway to have them around you, physically around you. Then you can know what day to start your progesterone testing. And you can be accurate when you're telling the vet the first day of her heat, so you can actually pinpoint the day that she's going to ovulate and the time that you need to actually inseminate her.
And I think the biggest thing about this is that a lot of people don't know that the science behind this and the research on breeding dates. And this is how the research goes. For us, dogs ovulate between 4 and 6 NGs, okay? So you need to make sure there's a spike, and then that confirms the dog ovulated. As soon as you know that the dog ovulated, so let's say your dog's a 5 or 6, that means it ovulated. You need to see a 9 or 10 the next day. Now you know the dog ovulated. You want to count 72 hours post-ovulation, and that's your breed date. Some dogs,
similar to us.
Some dogs are going to be here in the United States are going to be at 12 red. Some dogs are going to be at 30. So that final number isn't as important.
It's exactly the same with the UK.
Ovulation date. So you need to pinpoint your ovulation date, and then you need to count 72 hours post that ovulation date so that you window. But just because you have a 4 or 6 doesn't mean ovulate. So there's 3 factors. You need to know what the ovulation numbers are, find the spike, then go back and see what day that ovulation occurred. 72 hours and breed on that date. And that right there is the perfect date. And I have a dog that needs to be bred at a 35.
I was just about to say that. That's another good thing is get to know your females, man. Like, I'm going to tell y'all what, like a lot of people, I don't like to see this, but a lot of people just leave these dogs in kennels. They don't get to know their dogs. They don't get to know their patterns. They don't get to know how they move and their indicators. Like if you get to know your dog, some dogs ovulate on schedule every time. On the 10th day, 11th day, they're ready to go. Some dogs jump. They'll do, like, I know you've seen this before too, Kat, and I'm sure you have too, my guy, like, where they'll be at a 1, a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2.2, a 8. You know what I mean? And they do that jump. You know, you got to know your dog so you can know. Like count the days just as much as you count those ovulations as your progesterone test, because sometimes they'll stall out, and then they'll jump. And if you weren't counting those days and you don't know what day they truly started that heat, then you can't pinpoint that ovulation day as easy.
Yeah, it's like I've been waiting to do a breeding with this good bar daughter for months.
People are taking their vets as possible when a lot of these vets that I'm sending to here in the United States, half of them don't even know what they're doing as far as the numbers. Maybe they weren't a reproductive vet and just became one. I don't know the reasons, but some of them are telling. I have a client that you know, said that their dog was a 4, send them semen. And I said, no,
A
no,
4?
semen. Like, what do you mean? Oh, my vet said to send it today. Well, I think they're not in the office on Sunday. And I said, why would we send you semen when your dog's not even going to be ready for 3 more days at least, at the soonest, at the end of the day? So, and then some people don't like, you know, us questioning the vet. And then sometimes I have to back up and be like, okay, you know, whatever you say you paid for a service, I'm going to send you semen. You can do it however you want to do it. But this is my advice, you know, at the end of the day. So not all vets are very well versed in the progesterone, the breeding, that stuff. So yeah, see, my first breeding, my vet told me to have the semen sent when she was a 5. That's a perfect example. No, the semen doesn't.
Yeah, see, in the UK, we're a lot of the UK are probably thinking, what the hell are these numbers? We don't start doing our like the female don't start ovulating till around we get to about 38 is when you know she can't get no lower. Obviously, they can go up, down, like we said, you know, waiting. So when we get to around 38, 40 animal, then we realistically the female it's still been seen before, but like you said, every female is different. But normally when it gets to that, you normally do another blood test either the next day or the day after, and then you normally catch them at around 50 animal, and then obviously you miss a day, I miss a day, and then I do the next day. And then I only ever do two breedings. Some people do 3, it's up to them, but I've never missed, and I've always had good healthy litters.
We do
Somebody's
one.
asking about a silent heat and why does it happen. I don't think anybody knows why a silent heat happens, but that means you really got to monitor that female. Mark it on your calendar. Dogs usually come in the heat every 6 months, right? Give or take, but usually every 6 months, twice a year. So the last time your dog comes in the heat, mark it off on your calendar when she comes in and goes, whether you're breeding that heat or not. Just say you're skipping the heat. Still document the heat. So if you're breeding that next heat cycle, you know when to start looking for the beginning of her heat. Because if they have a silent heat, you're not going to be able to look for the blood. Usually, even on a silent heat, though, they will still swell up. So you can still see that swelling. You know, definitely still attract the male's attention. A male is really good for identifying a silent heat because he's going to be on her. And you're going to be like, okay, well, she's obviously in heat because he wasn't reacting to her like this previously.
I just released the ebook, XL American Bully Legends. Please check it out. It documents the history of the breed, the dogs that we consider XL American Legends, and also the dogs that we consider XL American Legendary mentions, right? That almost made the cut, that had a big influence on the culture. If you want to learn about the dogs, the famous dogs that you should be looking for in your pedigree, and the dogs that actually influence the culture, this book is for you. If you want to know about XL American Bully history, this book is definitely for you. Check it out. Andre BGK, and I'm out.